Hi, we're from Pomona High School, and today we're going to be talking about Walt Whitman's Song of Myself, and we're going to be focusing on canto number 6. We all ready for homework? We're ready to go. Right, Cordell?
Sir, yes, sir.
Yes, we're all ready for homework. And canto 6 is important because the whole poem is called Leaves of Grass, and now we get some description about what is Leaves of Grass. So before we start even looking at lines from the poem, I don't want you to think before you answer. I just want the first thing out of your mind, right? What is grass? Go, Kyle.
Well, I think grass is green. It can sometimes...
Okay. It is green. What is grass?
Grass is a plant that grows.
Okay, plant that grows. Grass.
Something you walk on?
Okay. Grass.
Contentment.
Okay, whoa. Contentment. Talk to us. What do you mean, contentment?
I don't know. I always just feel content and happy with my life when there's like green grass. You know, in Colorado, we have a lot of dead-looking grass around, and when the green grass comes, I feel a lot happier with life in general.
Okay, Lily, grass. What is grass?
It can be a comparison between neighbors.
Okay, what do you mean? A comparison between neighbors?
Like, the neighbor with the
green.
green grass is doing better with the dead neighbor grass.
Okay, so like stratification of people
Yeah.
based on the color of the grass. Edgar, what's grass?
It's a lush plant.
Lush plant.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys had the benefit of being able to think a little bit, right? Kyle was put on the spot with what is grass, and he goes green, right? But let's talk a little bit more general, right? Let's get a little deeper, right? What is grass? What could grass symbolize? What could grass mean? Leaves of grass.
I feel like grass is always around.
Okay,
Like, even if it's dead, it's still there.
it's still there. So it's all omnipresent.
Yeah.
It's always there. What are the ideas for grass?
I feel like there's a lot of grass that pops up wherever you grow, even in the small cracks in the wide open fields.
Okay, so it kind of goes in places where it's not necessarily meant to go. It goes beyond borders, right? What other ideas do we have for grass?
It's like nature, man.
Okay, what do you mean, Cordell?
It's like, I don't know, I can see it as being a symbol for the nature that kind of covers the whole earth.
Oh, I like that, right? Grass covers the whole world, and especially in America, where we, for some reason, feel the need to plant grass everywhere, right? Which it really does nothing. Wouldn't it be more beneficial if we planted like corn or something in our front yards? Like that would be better. We'd be anyway. So it covers everything, right? Grass covers everything. What else? If it covers everything, is it special?
No.
No, right? It's common. The common man plants grass. Is that what you were going to say, Nay?
No, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So we get these lines, right? He at the very beginning, a child said, "What is grass?" Fetching it to me with full hands. How could I answer the child? I do not know what it is any more than he. So does Whitman even know what grass is? No, but he's going to try. And then we get this repetition of the line, I guess, right? I guess, or I guess, or I guess, or I guess. Do you guys see that? So we have, I guess it must be the flag of my disposition, or I guess it is the handkerchief of the Lord, or I guess the grass itself is a child, which I think is maybe the most interesting line, right? Or I guess it is a uniform hieroglyphic. So let's talk about these where he's guessing what grass is, what the leaves of grass are. Let's talk about what things are interesting to us, what stands out, what interpretations do we have?
I think, I guess it's a uniform hieroglyphic.
Mhm.
It's interesting because hieroglyphics, they're like, I guess kind of a language, is that?
They are, yeah.
And then uniform, like, everyone knows it.
Yeah, but like if it's a hieroglyphic, is it uniform then? Can hieroglyphics be uniform? What's a hieroglyphic?
It's writing.
For what culture?
Egyptian.
Egyptian, yeah. And at one point, could we always read hieroglyphics?
No.
No, right? We had to find the stone, and then we were able to translate it, all that stuff, right? So at one point, we could not read hieroglyphics. So it's a uniform hieroglyphic. What does Walt Whitman mean? A uniform hieroglyphic.
I feel like it's uniform because there's so much of it, but it's like not one is the same.
Not one is the same. So there's a whole bunch of grass, but not a single grass
It's the same.
is the same. Can you go deeper into that, Edgar?
Well, I don't know. I feel like he's just saying like there's a ton of grass, but like when Lily said with the neighbors, like it's not all gonna look the same, act the same. So it just depends on the grass.
Hannah.
So, on the idea of a uniform hieroglyphic and it being grass or whatever, I actually had the idea that perhaps since you were going along earlier about how grass is like everywhere and it's kind of like a, I don't know how to say this, but like a part of culture almost. Like, I mean, we've used grass forever. I feel like it could be like a sign of time, how like, you know, America's like super old and there's grass everywhere. Not that this is about America, but you know, like a sign of time staying stagnant in a way.
Okay.
So.
And do you feel, before you go, do you feel like Walt Whitman is trying to get people out of that stagnancy?
Perhaps, yeah, by saying that he doesn't know what grass is, maybe kind of conveying a sense of sedation through something as trivial as grass.
Good. I like it. Kyle, any other things for uniform hieroglyphic, or shall we look at one of the other?
No, I was looking at, or I guess the grass itself is a child.
Yeah, talk to us
I
about
thought that was
line.
kind of unusual because I always thought of grass as always growing, always changing. Even as Lily said, even if it's dead, it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of interesting to see like more grass popping up, like it's a baby, like it's reproducing all over
Okay.
again.
Well, I kind of took that as how we were talking about how grass doesn't have like borders and it kind of grows everywhere. It almost doesn't know better, kind of like a child.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. So like a child, it goes into past these boundaries because
Yeah.
it doesn't know. Yeah. What do we make though of? I guess it must be the flag of my disposition, out of hopeful green stuff woven.
What's disposition?
What does disposition mean?
Isn't it like the attitude you're kind of just defaulting to usually?
Yeah. So your disposition is an attitude, right? So I guess it must be the flag of my disposition, or the flag of my attitude. What do we think? Stephanie
Hello.
has come to save us.
I'd say because Walt Whitman is typically really optimistic, it's showing his hope and his optimism.
So grass symbolizes his hope.
Yes.
Okay, can you elaborate just a little bit more?
It just keeps growing, and if you kill it, it grows somewhere else. It's always there.
It keeps coming back,
Mhm.
right? Even after it dies every year, it gets green again, right?
Mhm.
Okay, I like that. Good. Let's move on though. You see the stanza where it says, or I guess it is the uniform hieroglyphic. Let's go to the last line of that stanza. So we have Canuck, Tuckahoe, Congressman Cuff. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Canuck, Tuckahoe, Congressman Cuff. I give them the same, I receive them the same. So, what's a Canuck?
Canadian.
It's a Canadian, yes. So a Canuck is a Canadian, right? Usually a French Canadian. Tuckahoe is probably the most difficult one. Any ideas for Tuckahoe?
Sounds like an Indian.
It sounds like a Native American. Yes, it does. Tuckahoe is a city in New Jersey. It's also the name of a bay in South Carolina, right? So we have Tuckahoe City and we have Tuckahoe Bay. So we're referring to a city. What's a congressman?
Person that represents it.
Okay, government official, right? And how about cuff?
Convict?
Like handcuffs?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, maybe handcuffs. We all have cuffs, right? Like I roll my cuffs up, right? Edgar has cuffs. We all have cuffs, right? So it could be talking about the cuffs on your shirt, I think, maybe. But let's talk about the juxtaposition between these words. We have Canuck, and what a great sounds these words make, right? Canuck, Tuckahoe, Congressman, Cuff. I give them the same, I receive them the same. What's Walt Whitman trying to say?
Well, I don't know. I think if we take the I as Walt Whitman, he's just saying that he's not biased against people. But if we take the I as like this universal concept that as we've seen throughout the rest of the poem, where I is something greater, it's like maybe saying the world gives them the same and receives them the same. The world doesn't care about whether you're Canadian or what have you.
Yeah, true. And we've talked about before that Walt Whitman is a very democratic poet, right? He's open to everything. Now, would Emily Dickinson welcome all these people in and give them the same and receive them the same?
Definitely not the Canadians.
No, not. Right. Remember the poem I Dwell in Possibility? Let's turn there really quick. I Dwell in Possibility. Who did she say were the visitors to her place? Let's go. Turn to I Dwell in Possibility real quick. A visitor's blank. Page 88, sweet. I Dwell in Possibility. Page 88. A visitor's what?
The fairest.
The fairest. So remind me. She wanted people to come into her house of poetry, right? And who does she want? The fairest. So what did we mean by fairest?
The best.
The best. Okay. What other ideas for fairest?
Light skin.
Maybe, yeah, possibly. The most fair, the prettiest, right? What other ideas? The best. So, but if we go back to Whitman, does he want the fairest to come to his house?
No.
He wants everyone to come to his house, right? Everybody. I give them the same, I receive them the same. Everybody can come, even the Canadians. We love them. They can come. Let's look at the last two stanzas and then we'll be done for today. So we'll start. They are alive and well somewhere. Do you see that? Kyle, can you read?
Yeah. They are alive and well somewhere. The smallest sprout shows there's really no death. And if ever there was, it led forward life and does not wait at the end to arrest it, and ceased the moment life appeared. All goes onward and outward, nothing collapses, and to die is different from what anyone supposed and luckier.
Awesome. So let's finalize our comments with these last two stanzas. Talk about what is Walt Whitman trying to get at. We'll go this way, right? We'll start with Edgar and we'll go around. Edgar, talk to us about these last couple lines.
I just feel like going back to him inviting all people, I feel like he's saying that like no matter where you are, there's plenty of people, kind of like grass, it'll grow anywhere. So I feel like that's
People
what he's
will grow
trying to-
anywhere too.
Yeah, so I feel like that's what he's trying to get at. Just there's no limit for human beings.
Awesome. Lily.
Well, I found it interesting that he was saying it's lucky to die, and maybe like the idea before that grass always comes back, that maybe he was applying that to people as well.
Yeah, I like that idea. Yes, people come back.
I said that he's trying to point out the cyclical nature of the world and life, and it's lucky to die because you get to join the great cycle again,
Yeah. Circle of life. Alicia.
Well, on the line, all goes onward and outward, nothing collapses.
Mhm.
That kind of makes me think of like what Edgar said about just like the cycle of humans and that they just keep going.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about too, and how he says the small sprout shows that there's really no death. You're just passing along everything down to your children once you die. So it just keeps going in a circle.
Keeps going. And Nick.
I really agree with all of these statements that you should be happy that you're dying, but you should also be happy that you lived so that you were able to pass down your memories, pass down your experiences, and pass down your cells to other creatures.
All right, awesome. that is all the time we're going to spend on Canto 6. Thanks